We recently bought my daughter a new puppy. It's a little black Cavapoo, and she is this incredibly cute ball of fur. It's actually been a really long time since I've been around puppies, probably 10 years or so. It made me forget just how incredibly clumsy puppies are. For example, because this is not just a puppy, but a Cavapoo puppy, her little legs are so short. Combine that with very little strength, very little agility, very little coordination, and what sometimes seems like very little brains, it creates some very entertaining moments. In fact, it can also create some scary ones. I remember the first time the puppy randomly decided to jump off the couch. When she hit the floor, she tumbled like a rock. It was both startling and funny at the same time. She didn't seem hurt, but she was definitely momentarily dazed and confused by her own clumsiness. That was a few weeks ago. She's still a puppy, and she's still learning in every way, but she's gotten a lot better, a lot less clumsy. Now when she jumps, she usually sticks the landing. You and I, far more often than we'd like to admit, are a lot like clumsy puppies. There's so many endless areas of our lives in which we're both uncoordinated and a bit daft, as the British would say. We take a leap of faith, we hit the ground, we tumble like rocks. Another soul tsunami slams into us, tosses us around, and we hit the ground and we tumble like rocks. In either case, dazed and confused, we hopefully get up, dust ourselves off, and try to move on. That's life. It's one big learning curve, filled with millions of tiny learning curves. Inspired by that idea more than a decade ago, I created a model of training that I actually call the learning curve. CURVE stands for connect, unpack, reinforce, verify, and elaborate. It's a model that takes advantage of how humans, particularly adult humans, learn best. Now, when I put this model together, it came together in about a week or two, as I recall. For me, it was a glorious moment in my life. It marked a change for me as a professional in ways that I will really never forget. But the learning curve model wasn't created in a week or two. It was the result of 15 years of in-depth study and endless experimentation. Since that time, the model has been used in literally thousands of churches and businesses around the world through curriculum that I created and that those organizations purchased and used with their people. The heart of the learning curve model is really simple. Every experience, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, is in essence a chance for our brains to continue gathering or amassing knowledge. This is the learning journey. But it isn't a linear journey from point A to point B, and neither is it a circular round and round and round and round and round journey. It's actually both. It's spiral. As adults, we continually amass knowledge. Oftentimes, it's the same knowledge over and over and over as if it were circular. But it's in varying degrees in complexity and perspectives, as if linear, until one day we have what Wolfgang Köhler called insight, or the aha moment, in which all of that knowledge that we've been amassing reaches a critical mass and we are finally, truly awakened by it. The pieces and the parts finally come together. The light comes on in a way that just makes so much sense, and it is glorious. It's like the athlete or the musician who practices a specific move or a sequence over and over and over again, peppered with frustration and fits of, I just don't get it, I can't get it, until one day it seems to suddenly click. So when did the actual learning take place? Was it in the moment that it clicked, or in the sometimes hundreds of hours of practice and repetition and review up until the very moment that it did click? The obvious answer is both. In fact, I'm not sure that you can have one without the other if you're talking about real learning. Years ago, I was reading through 2 Corinthians, and when I reached chapter 3, verse 18, I had a little aha moment of my own. 3 phrases in particular really stood out, so much so that I've never thought the same way since. We all are being transformed from glory to glory. Transformed. It's basically our word metamorphosis. Your metamorphosis is happening, even if you yourself, or anyone else for that matter, can't see it right now. It's gradual, until it's not. You have a few glorious moments separated by long periods of almost imperceptible change. And in some cases, like the transformation into being Christ-like, that's a lifelong process. Your only real goal is to not allow the process to become aborted. We're all like puppies in a million different ways and contexts. Clumsy, uncoordinated, and a bit daft. We try something, or we get thrown into something, and we tumble like rocks. We hear ourselves saying, I just don't get this. Or what's the use? I'll never get this. Wrong answer. With each experience, your brain is amassing knowledge, connecting, unpacking, reinforcing, and verifying over and over and over, changing, metamorphosis. Don't give up. Once you've reached critical mass, your moment of insight, your aha moment, your glory moment will happen. I can practically guarantee it. And in that moment, you'll experience the sweet reward of success over that specific hurdle. You'll finally know what it feels like to take that leap and stick the landing.